In the early hours of the morning, Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, was rocked by a devastating Russian assault. The city's skyline was shattered by the deafening sound of missiles and drones, resulting in the death of at least 12 innocent civilians and leaving 90 others wounded. This marked the most brutal attack on the city since last summer. The aftermath was devastating, with parts of the city reduced to rubble. Amid the chaos, the spirit of the Ukrainian people remained unbroken. One resident, Tanya, bravely declared, "Kyiv keeps on living, attacks like these make people stronger." In the midst of this turmoil, Ukrainian President Zelensky made a heartfelt plea for the international community to apply more pressure on Russia, lamenting, "Putin has no fear." He urged his fellow Ukrainians to remain steadfast, promising to continue fighting for their homeland. As the sun rose over the devastated city, the scale of the attack became increasingly apparent, painting a grim picture of the current situation in Kyiv. As news of the attack spread, world leaders were quick to condemn the violence. The international community watched in horror as the strikes claimed at least a dozen lives in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. President Trump was among the first to react, voicing his criticism of Russian President Putin. In a post on Truth Social, Trump expressed his discontent, stating, "I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on KY4, not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop." But Trump's call for cessation of violence was not solely directed at Russia. He also had pointed words for Ukrainian President Zelensky, accusing him of harming the peace negotiations. This public admonishment hinted at strained relations between the US and Ukraine, raising questions about the effectiveness of the U.S. role as a mediator in this conflict. Yet amidst these strained diplomatic relations, Trump remained optimistic about the future. He declared that he has his own deadline for peace talks, implying a sense of urgency in resolving the conflict. However, without providing specifics, this statement left the world in suspense. The world watches anxiously as tensions continue to escalate, with Trump's call to stop reverberating across international borders. In the aftermath of the attack, the journey towards peace seems more challenging than ever. Peace negotiations between the United States, Russia, and Ukraine have been a tug-of-war, with each side pulling for its own interests. The United States has proposed a peace deal, one that calls for Ukraine to make some significant concessions, like giving up the right to re-seize occupied territory with its military, and not joining NATO. However, this proposal has raised concerns in Ukraine, with many feeling that it may be too lenient on Russia. The high-level talks aimed at resolving the conflict have faced their own set of challenges. Despite efforts to push Ukraine into accepting a deal with Russia, the road to agreement is fraught with obstacles. Complicating the matter further is the strong support for the war in Russia, with 4 out of every 5 Russians in favor of the invasion. As the dust settles in Kyiv, the path to peace remains shrouded in uncertainty, with both sides locked in a seemingly unending standoff. As the day draws to a close, the people of Kyiv reflect on the events of the day and brace themselves for what the future may bring. The city, still smoldering from the deadliest attack since last July, finds itself at the epicenter of a conflict that shows no sign of easy resolution. In the midst of the rubble, the spirit of Kyiv's inhabitants remains resolute. As one resident, Tanya, put it, "Kyiv keeps on living, attacks like these make people stronger." This strength is echoed in the plea of their president Zelensky, who has called for more international pressure on Russia. As we look ahead, the path to peace seems fraught with complications. The US, despite its efforts, finds itself in a delicate balancing act, pushing for a peace deal that satisfies both Ukraine and Russia. Meanwhile, Ukraine insists on a complete ceasefire, refusing to recognize occupied territory as Russian. Yet despite these challenges, the people of Kyiv remain steadfast in their determination to continue fighting, to continue living. Their resilience serves as a beacon of hope in a situation that often appears bleak. While the situation in Kyiv is dire, the spirit of its people remains unbroken, a testament to their resilience in the face of adversity. Thank you for watching Topics on Trend. Go ahead and check out another trending video on our channel here, like, subscribe, comment, and share.